Okay, so for people that are still having a hard time understanding my position on the symbol for the Tao, that is the two Nike swooshes, one Nike swoosh white, one black, with the little white dot in the middle of the black swoosh and the little, the other one for the other one. Okay, so you're still too much in my earth. Too much in my earth. What do I mean by that? It means you are using a conditioned mind. What does that mean? Okay, so you have to go back to Psychology 101 at university, and they teach you two forms of conditioning. That is classical conditioning and operant conditioning. And this is for how you train animals using food, for example. Classical conditioning is the animal gives you the right behavior, you immediately feed the animal. Every time the animal does the right behavior, you immediately feed the animal. That's classical conditioning. The second kind is called operant conditioning. And the animal does the right behavior, you feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you don't feed it. The animal does the right behavior, you feed it. In other words, you have a random reward system. They don't get the reward every time they do the behavior. But you are only rewarding with the food for the right behavior. In other words, if the animal does the wrong behavior, you're not giving them food. That's operant conditioning. And this is, I'm sure there are other kinds of conditionings, but these are the two that they teach in Psychology 101. And, they talk about it for animal behaviors, but this is a human animal, and conditioning works for us. In other words, you're at work, you do a great job on your assignment, and your boss gives you a bonus. You think you did a good job on your work, and your boss chews you out. This is not conditioning for the right behavior. This is conditioning to make you feel what? You're being conditioned, and you're being conditioned to feel learned helplessness. Another thing you learn in Psychology 101. Learned helplessness is you are being conditioned by your boss's erratic behavior to feel like you're helpless. Doesn't matter if what you do, you can't get what you want from your boss. What do you want from your boss? You want to be rewarded. That's why you're doing the job in the first place. Most likely you're doing the job because you need the money. Most likely you're doing the job because you have the skills to do it. Most likely you're doing the job because at some point you looked at all the possibilities of jobs that were out there, and you said, of all the jobs out there, if I have to do one, this is the one that I would prefer to do. So when it comes to saying something about, whatever you're saying, you're coming from a world that doesn't do anything for you but make you go crazy. Because the people on this planet are irrational. Totally irrational people. They are They have a propensity to emotional outbursts at inopportune time. So you cannot say that you understand the Tao because you grew up on a planet that's full of whatever you think it's full of. You are not in isolation. You are in an enormous planet with enormous numbers of people, and all of them you're kind of walking around on eggshells with every human on the planet, because you know from your experience that humans are exceptionally erratic, and you never know when someone's going to lose it on you. Someone who you've known for a very long time and has got a very calm demeanor. And then you'll see them turn into a walking nightmare. A complete change in personality. You've never seen it before, but lo and behold, the calmest, coolest person you ever knew turns into Satan's mother or something. So you don't understand the Tao because you are trying to use the situation on Earth and extrapolate from it into the nature of something that is far bigger than planet Earth. It's truly a wonder that we even got any information about the Tao at all on this planet because of that erratic, horrible nature of humans. But, the Tao would have been coming from higher consciousness humans. That is, people who are perhaps living in a monastery, protected from the outside world, where they can focus. And I understand why you would say it must be this way, because this is what I see everywhere on planet Earth. So that's my response for you. And I know it's going to be difficult for you to say anything other than, yeah, but this and yeah, but that. You're not listening. I'm listening to what you're saying. It's just that I grew up in the same world that you did. And my opinion comes because I have done so much inner work that I dropped my ego a long time ago. Even though it doesn't appear like it, it seems like I'm a human with a personality. And if you look at my videos, quite often my personality that I present to you as an actor on this channel is highly erratic and bizarre. Thank you for your comment all the same. I highly appreciate you making comments and asking questions. And even if I didn't clarify for you, perhaps someone else watching the video will get some value out of it. And please don't give up trying to understand other people's points of view. Because part of our job right now on the planet is helping others learn. And everyone knows that everyone has learning disabilities. Everyone has. I mean, you look at Albert Einstein. Go and look him up on Wikipedia. I don't know what it says, but, the story of Albert Einstein, the way that I was told it, was he was terrible at regular school. Terrible, 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 terrible student. And yet, he gave us relativity, which is beyond most people's ability to really understand. So if Einstein has learning disabilities, you can bet that I do, and everyone else on the planet does too. So what we're really working on is answering people's questions and encouraging the questions to keep coming, even though it's driving me crazy because I can't think of any other idea to help teach the subject. This is why teaching people is exceptionally challenging at times with certain students. Certain students seem to get it, but you have to watch out for those certain students because they tend to coast on their laurels. In other words, I'm such a good student. I've always been a good student, and I'm always going to be a good student, and that is not true. Sometimes your best students have to be really watched because maybe they're going to slack off, or they're just going to get to the point, and maybe the, I don't know, second year of university where they hit the wall, where their learning disability shows up.